Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Space Wizard Total War. Yuan Bo the Jade Dragon has finally arrived. Huge thank you to Creative Assembly for providing me with some early access so I can be showing you Shadows of Change before the release date here. We know there is quite a bit of controversy surrounding this current release as well as the pricing behind it. Don't you worry, I will actually have a video going over this very soon, but for now we're just going to be showing off everything that Yuan Bo is going to have to offer here for the campaign. That way you can make the decision yourself, a little bit more informed on whether you would like to purchase this DLC or not. I personally would say avoid any kind of pre-orders for this one and try to stick to any kind of sales if you can, but let's dive on in. So Yuan Bo, Administrator of the Realm, uses his formidable magic and vast information network to salvage an expedition in Lustria. He is going to be the Jade Court. We're playing on the Immortal Empires, and the kind of story narrative campaign that you have is going to be the same on both Immortal Empires and the Realms of Chaos. We'll just have a few more overall goals and objectives for Yuan Bo there. We are going to also go ahead and have our starting army being a kind of a rough spun group, a mix of Jade warriors, some peasant spearmen, and some peasant archers, some great longbow riders who are going to be excellent, a Jade lion, one of our new construct units that, surprisingly enough, is not going to be unbreakable. One of the things I would not mind being changed, they have immunity to psychology, but they should just be an unbreakable unit that crumbles, or just kind of similar to the terracotta sentinel. Kind of surprising that they're not, actually. And then we also have the onyx crowmen, which are going to be a pretty awesome, I would say a more elite version of the chaos furies and harpies flying around. And they also will have the eyes of the empress, so they will give you a bit more visibility range to spot some of the sneaky units that your opponents might be fielding. For our faction effects, we will have all regions owned by factions that you have a trade agreements with are visible, so he's going to be snatching the high elf mechanic, so anytime you grab a trade agreement, you can see all of the enemies, or I guess their provinces, enemy or not. Extra diplomatic relations plus 20 with Grand Cathay, research rate plus 5% for each provincial capital, and then a hero capacity plus 2 for astromancers. Yuan Bo himself is going to have extra Winds of Magic power reserve capacity plus 25, as he is a fantastic caster. And then he is going to have a 30% less upkeep for Onyx Crowmen, Jade Lions, and Jet Lion units, so we should have ourselves quite a few of the lovely new felines in our forces. And over on the map, we are going to have ourselves a split start position, both in Shangwu, his normal provincial capital, as well as picking up where Yin Yin the Sea Dragon failed in Lustria. It lies now to the Jade Dragon. It's going to be quite a fun. You have a dilemma early on to provide this, or at least give this back to Cathay, and then focus entirely on your expedition, but I think we're going to attempt to secure both and flex Yuan Bo's administrative capabilities. Over for his lore, amongst his siblings, the Jade Dragon is known as the most skilled manipulator of the Winds of Magic. For this reason, he leads the Astromancers of the Celestial Court, the only sanctioned wizards of the realm. Some of his family may consider him a bureaucrat, given the diligent execution of his administrative duties, but his power runs far deeper and further than they could even know. Behind the governors and officials is a vast network of spies and agents at the Jade Dragon's command, allowing him to seek out, identify, and quickly expunge threats to the safety of the provinces. If the others knew of his methods, they may be judged as harsh or extreme. The harmony of the realm outweighs the desires of the individual, and an iron will is required to eliminate a sickness before it can fester and spread. Quite. With that all out of the way, we shall be doing no more chatting. Let's dive on into the Jade Dragon. And Space Wizard from the future here. I'm coming on in and editing because I knew I was forgetting something during recording here and could not quite figure out which it was, and it was that we did not go over our settings. So our campaign difficulty is going to be on very hard, both campaign and battle difficulty. So this is actually going to just increase the reaction times, have a robust range targeting selection, so the ranged units are going to focus fire your softest units first. You're going to try to evade spells and artillery projectiles, and prepare for the fight of your life. So they have added a lovely change for your battle difficulties here, so you can now come on into the AI stats modifier, where on very hard normally, it would be set to maximum here, and they would have 10% more base weapon damage, 8 more leadership, 10% more on the melee attack, defense, and a charge bonus and armor piercing damage, and then an additional 20 reload skill, which is insane. We are going to reset this all the way back to the middle here. That way they're getting no bonuses whatsoever, but they will still have all of the extra reaction times and things of that sort. This will make sure that none of the factions are losing any of their faction identity, so we're not going to have unbreakable Skaven slaves or unbreakable laborers or anything like that. No worries about Ultimate Crisis or anything like that. We'll just keep everything as is. This is mostly to showcase the first... We are able to showcase the first 75 turns, and then after that, we will have to wait until full release, and we'll get going from there. So no worries about the Ultimate Crisis or anything like that, so let's dive on into the campaign.
An ancient power stirs in the land of dragons. A force of jade and steel, deep in the heart of the central provinces. Wei Jin, the jewel in the crown of the Celestial Empire, home to the great Wu Xing compass. Watched over by its vigilant guardian, the Jade Dragon, master of the meteor winds. The architect of Grand Cathay's destiny. Yet as light turns to darkness, he schemes, commanding a vast network of unrelenting spies. No lies go undetected. No whispers go unheard. The dragon's eyes are everywhere.
I must range out beyond our borders. Cathay's security demands it.
Indeed. We start our campaign here with a split start between the Isle of the Crimson Skull and over there in Shangwu. So let's get things started. So we have a path to victory here for the Jade Dragons campaign. For both Immortal Empires and the Realms of Chaos map, you will have, instead of your, well, in the Realms of Chaos, you're always going to be having kind of a narrative campaign, but on Immortal Empires here, instead of having a short, long, and domination victory path, you have a path to victory, which we must be, we'll go ahead and read it now. It is the Jade Dragon's duty to increase the Celestial Emperor's influence in the world by fully harnessing the power of the Wu Jing compass. And this is going to be down here. Yuan Bo must activate 4 dormant directions unique to the Jade Court that point towards distant sites of great power. Constructing an astromantic relay at such a site will empower the compass to greatly strengthen Cathay's dominion and bring Yuan Bo closer to campaign victory. Basically, you just have to activate the 4 dormant directions. There is a battle for each, and there's one kind of final battle, and that is going to be how you gain victory. As astromantic relays are constructed, the Jade Dragon must stay prepared for the hostilities of those who would seek to stop the redirection of the Winds of Magic. Successfully activating the 4 dormant directions will lead to the final incursion. That's pretty much what I had just said there. Awesome. Our first mission has been issued. We must engage the enemy, including that is going to be the Blue Vipers, so the expedition has ground to a halt in the wake of the Savage Orcs meddling. Such base creatures cannot be allowed to impede the business of the dragons. Rid the land of this menace. Only then may the expedition into Lustria progress. It'll give us 1,000 gold and give us a nice foothold into the lands. Actually, the Blue Vipers have a good deal of territory to start. They own most of the kind of the Isthmus area, which actually has a few new settlements. It has gained a bit of ground. The jungles of Pahulaxa is the main benefactor of that. But let's dive on back down. We start with a alchemist, Shunma.
Alchemist of Shangri-La.
Kind of interesting that we're not starting with an astromancer, as that is kind of his main thing. These are much better heroes in my opinion, but still would make more sense for Yuan Bo to start with an astromancer. I'm happy about this, but let's, for lore's sake, we all know and love what the alchemists have to offer. They've got their Wind of Metal, and then their Metallurgy, which will kind of drop down a nice, hefty bit of extra damage as well as some magic attacks on 1 unit. Be great if we could get a area of effect version of this, but that might be a bit too strong. Shunma is going to be violent. Violence is always the answer, even when it's not. 10% more weapon strength, and then 8 additional charge bonus, which isn't probably what you want for a caster, but I guess we'll take it. They do look incredible with the Jade Dragons faction colors there.
A superficial task.
Got a whole bunch to talk about here. Let's jump in and take a look at the Jade Dragon himself. Absolutely incredible looking model here. His gold antlers on his helm, and this two-handed Jian. Just a great sword. Incredible looking. When I mentioned earlier that my, I guess, reluctance for kind of paying full price for this DLC, that is not stem over towards the kind of the amount of work and effort put into this is not a review, by the way, but this is just me saying that the artwork and everything that has been put in and all of the love that's been put into the DLC is very, very apparent. But that is not the gripe that people are having with Z Price. Taking a look at some of his unique skills, we've got the Celestial Administration here. Additional recruit rank for the Shogun faction-wide spells in the Lord's Army, and then 5 more recruit rank for Astromancer's faction-wide. I won't read through all of them, but I'll at least kind of scroll through. More diplomatic relations and leadership. Upkeep production by 30% when you're in your own territory, so he's very good at holding his own lands, and I guess expanding them from there too. More movement range by 30%. Even more abilities for Astromancers, as well as a bit of spell resistance for your army. And then finally, Closest to Heavens will give you 50% more spell intensity, allowing you to drop some major bombs on the enemy, as his final spells he unlocks are actually the Comet of Cassandora, which is incredible, and then the Talons of Night, which is also an incredible spell. One of my favorite of the lore of Yen. All the way over here to the Greater Arcane Conduit. He's an absolute monster. He has the Emperor's Execution ability, which will execute units in combat below 20% hit points. He also, while in human form only, has a chance to randomly execute units below 20% just by hitting them with his normal blade. So if you have a Lord and you don't wish to drop them with this ability, you can close the gap. It's always worth it because he can take them down sometimes just instantly with a single hit, as long as they drop below that 20% hit points. And this is a new trait that we're seeing. I'm horrified to see what other units are going to gain this Executioner trait in the future here. Lastly, we've got some new items here for the Jade Dragon. All of the other Dragon Children have 2 items now. Both Miao Ying and Zhao also are going to have some. But the Jade Dragons are going to be the armor of the Dragon's Great Gaze. Through the many Jade eyes adorning Yuan Bo's armor, he can see all and exert his will upon his subjects through his regentship. 20 extra relations with Cathay, 10 more armor, 10% less enemy hero action success chance, 1 minus wound recovery time, which is what all of the dragon's armor does, and then the armor of the Dragon's Gaze, giving him a 10% extra ward save, and then everyone around him 4 extra leadership and an immunity to psychology, which is awesome. His weapon is exquisitely crafted from one of the Celestial Dragon's own teeth, is the weapon of his Executioner, wielded by the Jade Dragon with Strength and Authority. But rank 12 will have a quest battle for that. Give us 4 control in the local province, 1 control for all of our provinces, 8% more weapon strength, and then the Dragon's Fang ability, which basically will turn him into a unstoppable rage monster for 20 seconds. Fantastic. And that's our new characters. Before we jump into our battle with Drok the Horrible here, we'll take a quick look at all of our kind of new items we have to look at. So we've got the Matters of the State, which we are going to be using our steel and stone tokens here. These will be actually, so you only gain, you have 2 of each to start, and every time you use them in one of these different actions, it will switch them over to the other side. So they go into kind of a bank, it'll say +2, and then you have every 5 turns it will add 1 on in. And every time you win a battle, any battle at all, it will drop that by a single turn, so it's possible to get this down pretty quickly, so you can get your tokens back and forth as long as you are fighting quite a bit. But if you would like to increase your tokens, you have to come on down to where you see either the Fortress City or the Commercial District. And when you are at either one of these 2, it will allow you to take a Tier 3 province capital, declare it either a Fortress or Commercial District, and it'll improve the effects from those 2 different kinds of buildings. The Fortress City obviously improving the effects for military and defense buildings, the Commercial District doing the same for infrastructure and research, or resource buildings, rather, that is. And this will also increase the number of stone or steel tokens you gain. It is 1 per, so for the Commercial District, you'll get an additional stone token, And for the Fortress City, you'll get an additional steel token, up to 4. And I haven't played enough to know if that is 4 for each, so it's 8 total, or it's just 4 across both. We'll find out together here. But in the beginning, we kind of only have 2 options, either levy the provinces, which will allow you to target an army belonging to you or an ally and instantly complete 1 turn of ongoing recruitment. So if they have 2 turns, it'll just drop it down to 1, which is pretty fantastic. We also are going to have on the steel options the structured operation, which will allow your next hero action guaranteed to succeed. So awesome if you need to steal some extra research rate, you want to get that going really early on, or you really need to damage a building, kind of like they showed in the kind of the faction overview for the Jade Dragon, where if someone's recruiting and you can damage that recruitment building. That's very, very niche, but it'd be awesome to make sure it always happens if you want it to. On the stone actions, we have the Crackdown, which will allow you to take a target settlement's province, their control and corruption, and drop it down to 0. Currently, it looks like the control version of this doesn't actually work, so unless it is kind of cracking down and trying to reduce someone else's control. Of that, I'm not sure, but when I was in my own testing with a province with negative control, it does not pull it back up to 0. It just stays as is. All corruption, though, immediately goes away. For rush construction, you are able to target a settlement and can instantly complete all ongoing construction. Regardless of how many turns it takes, it will instantly complete that construction, making this an incredibly powerful action just for 2 stone tokens there. We are going to be getting to use those pretty early on here because we've got several battles to start. Over here in the Aymara Swamps, we start with the Isle of the Crimson Skull, and everything is kind of damaged, as in the flavor text it says our operations, or our expedition here in Illustria has been kind of stymied by the Savage Orcs. They've damaged the floating pyramid, killed all our settlers, and damaged up our port. So we're going to go ahead and fix the dock here. And then we're going to zoom on back over to the Celestial Riverlands in Cathay proper, where Shangwu is currently facing down a invasion of the undead here. They have control of the entire rest of the province, and I think it's 60 vampiric corruption currently, which is pretty awful. We got to do what we can. So basically, there will be a option later on if we would like to give up Shangwu. We would give it to, I believe they're up here in the north. We'll pull up our diplomacy real quick as we are able to take a look at everyone around.
Fire and metal.
We'll start off with a
The Western Province
trade agreement with Zhao Ming. Take all the gold we can from it. 196 is but a little bit, but we'll hold the extra coin we can. The Burning Wind Nomads will also go ahead and take the non-aggression, or the trade agreement with Lovely Young Sun. Thank you, thank you. We'll take the gold.
Long live Cathay.
And as you can see, we're starting to really open up the map here. We need to deal with our kind of rebellion of the undead quickly. That way we can start helping out the other Cathayan factions, because they are going to start losing, at least the minor ones are going to start losing ground really quickly.
Attention!
Thanks to that, we have now located also the Jade Custodians and the Eastern River Lords.
Celestial General.
Ming Fan being an awesome new Celestial General.
I am a warrior of the dragon.
Which is really cool to see some of the new
greet you in their name.
Lord types leading some of these other factions here. At least until their dragon counterparts take over. We're going to take the extra gold, the non-aggression, and the trade agreement with Ming Fan here.
I understand this. If
Not the nuance.
of it.
You should just do what you're told. How about that?
Celestial ancestors.
Hang Lin is in
Cathay
control while
extends
Yin
the
Yin
hand
is
of welcome.
in timeout for failing the initial invasion of Lustria.
For the dragon.
All the dragon. She's going to be attacked from both sides here. Lokir Felheart from the north and Nakai from the south. Who is able to recruit Croxagores again. Thankfully. Alright, we've got a fair bit of extra gold now, so we're going to come on over to Shangwu, which we are going to not accept the dilemma to give it on back. I believe that is something, because I haven't done it, I like the challenge of holding on to Shangwu. I believe you hand it over to the Custodians and hope they can keep it under control, and I'm pretty sure they just lose it immediately. What we're going to do is come on into Shangwu, recruit or grab in the exotic animal tamer for the extra trade resources and a bit of income. Trade resources allowing us to spy on all of our neighbors quite nicely. And then we'll come on in here and see what kind of celestial generals we have access to. We have Heng Gonsun, the solid. Ooh, that's a bit of armor, melee attack, and weapon strength. Love to see that. We've got Hao Tan, the martial artist. Zhuan Zhang, the sharp, and then Tianzhuo, the crafty. Ooh, we could do some really sneaky stuff with this fella. But I think I would prefer to have someone who is either a solid or martial artist. Defense and resistance, so it would take, they've got 60 attack, 40 defense, as opposed to 65 attack. Let's go for a solid Peng Gong Sun.
Celestial General.
Celestial General, he says.
Establish
Alright, Peng,
a safe
we're gonna go ahead and
route for my
change your name.
council.
All of the Shugen Gun and Dragon Blooded we recruited, because all of these guys are Dragon Blooded as well. They're just not as gifted with magic, or gifted at all with magic. They will all be of the Bo clan, so this is Peng Bo.
Celestial
Yuan's lineage shall control Cathay.
First
Wait,
among
we're gonna go ahead and give him right away 2 archers, and then we're gonna go ahead and grab 3 more in Global. Global's gonna take 3 turns, and it's gonna cost a little bit. That's gonna be just fine. We're about to go ahead and grab ourselves our first fight. Before we do so, actually,
Instrument of the
before we
divine.
recruit those guys on in, take a look at our Wu Jing Compass. The Wu Jing Compass harnesses the winds of magic to bring prosperity to Grand Cathay. Directing the compass fills the respective energy reserve. The greater the energy reserve, the larger the benefits are. However, the reserve of all directions will decay over time. Any ones you're not directly pointing at will start diminishing. You start with all of them filled up to start, which is awesome, but it does not last for too long here. We are going to start, the 4 options we have to begin with are the same as the other Cathayan factions, and the Warpstone Desert's been changed a bit. We'll start with that one then. It's got now extra 20% sell value of all cargo, maximum cargo capacity plus 20% as well, and then an additional 1 to your recruit rank for your caravan masters, which seems like what we'll want to do if you're trying to roleplay as Xiaoming as much as possible. The Great Bastion now is going to give you extra defensive supplies, replenishment rate, Bastion threat minus 2%, recruitment cost reduction, as well as the summon of the Ghost Warriors. The Celestial Lake will give you control, income from all buildings plus 15% more winds of magic. And then the Dragon Emperor's Wrath gives you the corruption drop. The Dragon Emperor's Wrath, some extreme attrition is applied beyond the Great Bastion, and then you get the nuke to drop down in your own regions, which is awesome. We, since we are in a split start, are going to start out with the Great Bastion here to give us some more defensive supplies, replenishment rate, and actually drop the recruitment cost for all of our Cathayan-owned regions. Yes, please. I think we can get that up to... Oh, that just only increases replenishment rate. That's just fine. Okay, so now Ping Bo's recruitment should be quite a bit cheaper. Get down to 360. We'll still do the same as before. We only really have a little bit more gold than previous, but we'll take it. We'll come on back over to Swamplands here.
Bureaucrat.
We'll dive into battle.
Sorcerer. General.
Bureaucrat, sorcerer, battle general. All the things.
My tongue.
His list of titles is incredibly long. Well, we've got our fulls of peasants and Jade warriors. I can't wait to dive on in. Drock the Orbital. You poor, poor fool. Prepare to get crumped. Alright, let's get this battle started here. So we've got... Try to scroll back, not realizing we don't have the better camera mod currently. Let's figure out exactly where to attack from. I don't think the jungles are a very good call. The Savage Orcs will probably have the advantage. Let's take our long spears, set them up on top of this hill here. We're going to rotate these guys to the side there.
Order
And just drag them over a bit. We'll have the Jade Warriors with their sword boards up front. Once we get everyone set up, I'll go ahead and pull in for a proper look at our new units here. And then we'll also go ahead and show off the settings we're currently running with. We'll have the Longma up on top. Crowmen, we're going to go ahead and grab you two. Put you in a group, have you land so we can actually take a look at the units.
Warriors.
Infantry together, peasant archers on their own there, and then everyone else. What called you Ming Fan? I believe that's the one you start with on Xiao Ming's campaign. Alright, we're going to grab the Jade Dragon, throw him up front. Dun Ma off to the side here. Take a look at some of our new units. Starting with, obviously, the brand newest of peasants. They're green. That's quite new. Still a really well done model in my opinion though. Love the different kind of spears we have here. Kind of have the more traditional G, a bit more ridges. Awesome stuff. Or I guess G would be... I'll just stop all of them ahead. We've got our alchemist here, also decked out in green. Too bad she doesn't throw any of these potions as part of like an attack. If she's got an animation like that, we'll find it. Got our lovely bristling spear wall. We'll be back to you, Yuan Bo. Is Jade warriors, which I'll have to take another look at, but I'm actually surprised he doesn't give Jade warriors any additional buffs. We've got our lovely peasant archers. They definitely have a soft spot for all of the Cathan peasant units. They just look incredible. They're really well done. Our Longma. The fluffy horses with wings. Imagine just getting accidentally tickled by one of these in battle. Ugh, horrifying. The Longma, while looking cool, are a bit spooky. Not for me. We've got the Crowmen. Speaking of spooky, I love the Crowmen. Happy little crows. Their hands are a little bit disconcerting, but you don't worry about that. They're going to perform very, very similarly to either Harpy. I'm loath to call them Harpies because they destroy Harpies in a straight-up fight. You guys back up in the air. Come over to the Jade Lion. You thought we were going to the Jade Dragon. Not yet. King of the Jungle. Very surprising that these guys aren't actually counting as construct units. And I'm hoping that that's something that can change for the future here. I think they should be identical to the Terracotta Sentinels, except for obviously without the same stats. So it should just be an unbreakable construct unit. Look how awesome. They have some amazing animations. We're going to take a look at all that. I want to make sure you are hiding in the jungle. Plan is to have them jump out on the Savage Orc Boar Boys. Doesn't have a lot of armor, but pretty decent melee stats considering. Not Yuan Bo. We didn't forget about you. This is going to be an extra long episode for this first one while we go over all of how the Jade Dragon plays, as well as just kind of showing everything off. Coats the blade in Jade. He looks awesome, and this is another helmet I'm going to need for my collection. Most of his attacks, he's going to be throwing Jade shards out all over the place. It is incredible. Pull you archers back just a little bit there, and let's get this battle started. Let's grab all of our main infantry, leave the Longmas out of it. Let's kind of push them forward.
Is at the heart of Cathay, ensuring the Celestial Empire stands.
Battle speech.
So let us finish them quickly, so I may return to my calling.
I have other stuff to do. Let's beat them quick. Heard. Y'all are wasting my time. Let's have him scoot on over. No one's really gonna hurt the Jade Dragon. He looks like but a mere man, but look, he's dragging that blade through the earth like it's nothing. I am going to pretty much immediately drop down the Executioner on the enemy there. Since as long as he's in normal human form, he should have no trouble ripping him apart. Over here, we're gonna dive into the forest and start fighting with the cavalry. Plan is just to try to convince the rest of this army here they'd like to move forward, while leaving all of our own troops back, ready to attack. Here, let's get everyone set up a little bit better on the hill here.
Sorcerer of secrets, if necessary.
Go ahead and pull, if necessary, pull you back a little bit. That way our archers can get nice firing arcs into the enemy.
Immediately.
Jade Dragon, just scoot on into the woods. And we'll pull these guys back a bit.
It is fated.
Shunma, come forward.
Path of metal.
Longma.
Guided by ancestors.
I'm gonna start bringing the Jade Lion on over. You'll see just how quick he can move. You go ahead and chase down these war boys. Enemy Lord's a little bit too far away to hit him. Turning into a dragon would do more damage. Look how fast this thing can move. What is your speed at? 75? That is pretty solid. They're going to be a huge threat to enemy warhounds for Norska. Into the forest here. Gonna skating on in. He's dropped down the Jade shield, so he's not taking too much damage. He should rip through these boar boys, no problem. Where's the enemy general? Still hiding, it appears. Get a few kills, and then we'll probably try to pull on away. He is more of an anti-infantry style unit, but some of his attacks are incredibly twirly. Where are you guys going? They're gonna try to get another charge. Let's go ahead and pull on away then. Here comes their lord. Excellent. Drop down the blade of the Dragon Emperor. Start chopping this war boss to pieces. As soon as he drops below 20% health, he is gone. I'm going to bring none of the rest of our troops forward. Jade Dragon can do this by himself. Keep the people of Cathay safe. That was unnecessary, but we're here for it. Here come the orcs again. Can we get around so they're mostly wasting their charge? We sure can. He only has the Executioner in human form, so when he's in dragon mode, he may do more damage and have a bigger hitbox for the enemies. He will be doing not have the chance to execute, like he currently does.
To end all threats.
That little emblem above the top means that he is in execution range. I think now it'll be triggering. Get him. And he's gone. Rest in peace.
Positioning is all.
So what's your plan now, orcs? Your army is fairly disintegrated. Lord is already gone. Let's go after the boar boys here. They lose quite a bit of their attack in the forest here. The Jade Dragon kind of rip them to pieces. Keep dropping that Jade shield for the ward save. I'm really surprised they're not advancing. Your lord has fallen. Indeed. Wow.
The Dragon Emperor's most
Alright, Jade Dragon, we're gonna try to get out.
Jade Dragon moving.
We're gonna be able to push through these guys, but maybe they'll allow you to come through and we'll just turn into a dragon. The rest of the army is staying back and doing nothing. Alright then. We advance.
With joy.
There's no joy in my advancing.
There we serve.
One away.
Show them
And
our
it is
fury.
time to transform into a dragon.
The Jade Court's power.
Get the slow-mo transformation. There he goes. Oh. Oh, he was way up in the air. He missed half of it. Well, that's no good. Alright, Yuan Bo.
The time.
Time to start whooping on these cavalry.
With talent and tooth.
Talon and Tooth. Destroy them. None of the rest of them are moving forward. The fact that I'm having to advance my army is making me quite frustrated. Come on, lads. Onward. Stop here. And they're just launching arrows at Yuan Bo.
Light of the dragon.
I don't approve of your combat strategy.
Light as a cloud.
They're like, well, you focused our lord down, so we figured we would return the favor. Fair enough. We'll have the lion and the longma dive in there. Yeah, they're legitimately ignoring the rest of our army. Impressive strategy. We'll see how well it pays off for him. Lion breath through here. Ripping them apart. Fly over the top. Lion come on around as well.
Jade warriors.
EP warriors move into about this position.
Ever is required.
Thought I had the crowman moving on around, but I guess I didn't. Land. You start moving those orc boys away.
Elixirs are ready.
Show us how ready they are. Start tearing apart those archers there. We'll move everyone else forward. Longbow away. These poor boys are terrified on off. We'll switch the squad around. Landing these air boys here. Get him, Yuan Bo. Diving on into the forest. Send the infantrymen in as well. Alright, awesome. Let's pull the Crowmen back on away. Junma, dive on in. Yuan Bo, go find you some new targets. We'll have the Crowmen come on over and chase off these archers here. Or metal spells. Look at him go. Just battering orcs about. I think as that Jade's on him, he does damage the entire time. Well, that is a lot of hitboxes. Look at him wiggle. Alright, we're going to do what we can to chase down the rest of these orcish reinforcements for our lovely battle captives, and I'll catch you all in a moment.
Shape her of steel.
Alright, decisive win for our first battle here with only one of our own lost. I actually thought one of the Longma fell, but it was only one of the Crowmen that actually got taken out, and it was a lone orcish or error boy that got lucky. We have earned ourselves in the process the Scarecrow banner, which would have been better for the Blue Vipers, but I guess we'll take it. I will go ahead and add this one on down to the Jade Lion. Actually, we'll give it to the Onyx Crowmen, as they are going to be kind of our anti-air units. They'll be chasing out off the air units even better now. We're going to go ahead and take the extra gold here to start. We're going to need every extra penny we can gather.
We need wealth for the workers.
Indeed. We need to be able to afford extra soldiers. Enrage or engage the enemy. Expedition has ground to a halt no longer.
Yuan Bo.
A growl there, Yuan Bo.
Brave warriors of Cathay.
We'll scoot forward a bit with him. We've gained a single skill point. I think we should use it for Route Marcher. We're not going to be able to move any further this turn here, but it'll help us out in the long run, as you don't get around as quickly over in Cathay. We're going to also grab a Judge next for the extra use for the Emperor's Executioner. 2 is already incredible. 1 hit takes the unit almost down to half health. The second one is more than enough usually to finish the job. Then we'll grab Inspiring Presence and probably start working down his magic line, as he is a horrifyingly powerful spellcaster.
A useful tool.
Sweet, we can move a little bit further. Let's go ahead and do so.
March for your rations.
Absolutely. And then we'll have Jade Dragon recruit in some more archers. That's really what you're missing out on. Perfect.
I cannot delegate this.
That's very fair. We could go ahead and levy the provinces. What I'm going to do with this instead of now, I'll show you all my schemes. Over in the Riverlands here, we are likely going to be facing off against this faction, their leader. The undead are very quick at gathering up a massive army, so what we're going to do with Pengbo is next turn, when these guys are at 1 left, go ahead and levy the provinces, which will allow us to instantly recruit in a whole heap of new troops.
Muster
awesome.
to our strengths.
To our strengths. One into our technology, finally, we're at 110% as we own 2 province capitals. We've got 5% extra for both, which is awesome. Season trackers, the Dragon Emperor's celestial hand shall ease our path, no matter what might assail us on the way. All we need do is look for his radiance and follow after it. This will give our Yang characters additional movement range, and our Yin units more replenishment rate. Yes, Harmony has been overhauled. As you can see, it's not here at the top. You don't have a big Harmony meter. You actually will have it with your individual provinces. So, we'll click on Shangwu here. Just give a quick overview. So basically, in Harmony, you will have 20% more movement range for armies starting in this province, 15% less upkeep for all armies in the province, and then 15% more income from all the buildings in this province. So that is going to be what happens when you're in Harmony. It's not nearly as powerful as it used to be, but it also has the additional benefits of more movement range. Yin and Yang also are not going to have the negative benefit, the negative effects they had previously. It's going to be more of if you want to focus on, say, research and recruitment. So 5% more research rate all the way up to 10% for Yang plus 6. That'll also allow you to grab more recruitment cost reduction, recruit rank, and recruit capacity for your local area. For Yin, it's more about control, reducing the cost of your buildings, and then giving you some more growth. Up in the 3 to 5 plus will give you a drop to construction time for all buildings, allowing you to build up really, really quickly with Yin. So if you would like to kind of get a province up and running as fast as possible, I'm actually thinking Yin is the way to go. Yang is for either a late game, when you'd like to kind of switch everything over to research rate, or you're just trying to get a army built up rather quickly. And actually a pretty elite army built up rather quickly. We'll have to take that into consideration. All of your heroes and units, or all of your heroes, lords, and your research itself is not going to contribute in any way to Harmony anymore. So we'll have to see how this new system actually plays out here in Z's campaign. We've recruited just about all we can. I am actually going to choose to not rebuild the floating pyramid just yet into a hamlet, as there is this army of savage orcs nearby, and they will likely get there before we're able to reinforce, and the Tier 1 garrison is nothing to write home about. And that's much better here at the Isle of Crimson Skull, as it's a province capital. It gives you some actual Jade warriors. We wouldn't get them normally. So let's come all ahead and feel as though I am missing something, but we'll go ahead. Basically, we're saving the levy the peasants, or levy the provinces, for the next turn, and we're going to save rush construction for when we're upgrading either several buildings all at once in a single area, or we're just trying to get up to the next tier of provincial capital sooner rather than later. And it'll likely be something we use over in Cathay itself, just to defend the area a bit better. Last, let's come on into our Ivory Road here. Use our ill-gotten gains. We've got a clandestine lad. He has some veteran units. Yeah, that he does. Or Ji, the Longma Whisperer. Well, you know it's going to be Ji. He's got one name, and he's a Longma Whisperer. In addition to the Chaos Dwarves, this becomes much more dangerous sending these caravans through. Same thing with the move of where Grimgor is. We are going to start off, because each individual place you send it to, I think, has an option for a single legendary item. So we're going to go ahead and go for Altdorf, as I believe we get a chance to get the Luminarch Lens, which is an incredible item that drops, I think it gives the enemy fire weakness by a pretty huge margin, which we can bring over to our army with the Jade Lion. Go ahead and dispatch the caravan to Altdorf. Away! Perfect. We are about out of gold.
Cathay's forces were created for such triumphs.
Indeed. Any more diplomacy we can do before we end the turn? We can make deals with Clan Mange. No thanks.
Attention!
No, not for now. We should have more diplomatic endeavors next turn. Alright then. And as we forgot to show off the settings, let's go ahead and dive on in real quick. These are the settings we are rolling with, for any and all who are wondering. 5 more seconds about, and we'll go ahead and get right back to things. I tend to like to do this at the beginning, but was very excited about jumping on in, and so we skipped right on past it. Right then. For the 14th time. That'll be the turn.
Tactical acumen.
Gifts from Shangyang.
Shangyang, oh, she leveled up.
The Emperor's architect.
What we'll do with you then, Shunma, is give you the increased mobility as well. That way we can actually hopefully get further inland here. Can't quite reach over to the floating pyramid, and it was a very good idea for us not to rebuild this, as there. We've got several armies nearby here. And we're definitely going to lose the pyramid.
Me such stories of my siblings. So many plots.
Come on out and attack this rather quickly here.
Secrecy.
Got it. At attacking the other one across the room here. Listen, well, let me stop this recording. Alright, I'll be right on back.
Is wise.
Alright, conflict averted. Let's get back to it.
Unexciting demeanor. What
So
is
the plan is going to be, we're going to bring, I wanted to bring Yuan Bo on out with the possibility of attacking Specter Zuma here. Specter Zuma is a province capital, so it would give us 5% more research rate, and would actually weaken the Hunt Marshals quite a bit, as this is kind of their, meant to be their final capture for the Creeping Jungle. If we can take this first, that would allow us to give us a kind of a nice bastion of strength. We can build this one up, put even a kind of a lord there just to sit and defend, and then just get it profit from all of the extra research rate. However, we now have this Remnants of Battle to be searched. We could pop up on the shores from the other side if we'd really like to.
For Cathay.
That is a tough call. I think what we want to do is come on down to... I think we want to do is come on down to Specter Zuma. So let's come on across the floating pyramid here.
That location seems wise.
I agree. We should be able to recruit still.
A balance
We
of
can come back and
force
grab
skill.
the Remnants of Battle later on. But I want to take this settlement before the rats are able to build up too much. So let's go ahead and throw in one more Peasant Archer and one more Spear. So we have kind of a... well, as I say that, we don't really need a line. We really just need some archers to throw stuff at the enemy. Yuan Bo and the Alchemist can kind of hold the line, and we can launch the arrows on in.
An executioner.
Fair enough. And if these two would like to come on over and face us, I feel we have no problem in bringing them down. Let's swing on back over to the provinces.
Humility
Where Pang Bo
in
has
all
himself
things.
3 archers about to recruit. Let's throw 2 more spearmen on in there. Come on into our matters of state. Grab the levy of the provinces. 1 man and 1 woman from every village and 1 soldier from every garrison. And we will add them into Pang Bo's forces. Once that has been complete, those have now been transferred, as you can see, from steel to now they are stone tokens. And after 5 turns, we will have one of those tokens dropped on in to our pool there.
Celestial General.
Formed, lovely. So Pang Bo now has himself
Attention.
a almost full force of like 7 or 8 troops.
Warriors,
Scoot on
sons,
forward.
with me.
We are going to go ahead and throw ourselves into encamp stance.
I
And then
will
we're going to
make
grab
a
one more
soldier
spearman
out of
and one more
every
archer.
raw recruit.
And we're going to prepare for the invasion of the Baleful Hills. We won't do any war declarations or anything like that. We would like them to not know what our plans are.
Idle in thought.
So much time idle in thought. Lovely to hear. We're going to go ahead and jump to our diplomacy, see if we've got any more trade agreements we can get out.
Master of Sea. Oh,
No, but we can go ahead and grab the non-aggression pact with Zhao Ming.
The
Go ahead and get
Western
this
provinces bid you a warm welcome.
underway here. In most
In
places.
most places, I suppose I will assent.
I suppose you will.
chosen.
Younger brother. Now, back to the Riverlands. Or I guess the Amara Swamps.
Keeper
Beautiful.
of Wushing.
We end the turn and see how things play out. Hopefully they don't attack the floating pyramid, and if they do not, we will likely go ahead and, because it takes 3 turns to actually settle this, we'll go ahead and click the button, and then we'll go ahead and speed that along so it completes immediately. I think that'll be a good use of our tokens, as long as the orcs stay well away. Alright, the turn falls to Cathay. Caravan encounter the stranger. As the caravan comes to a halt for the night, the stranger wanders into the ad hoc camp. Stopped by the guards, he begs an audience with the caravan master. His offer is to join the retinue for no pay. There is safety in numbers, but he will help protect the caravan. Grab ourselves an Empire Captain. Taking on strangers mid-journey is not advised by the caravan guilds for good reason. I will go ahead and break the rules, and we will go ahead and add a captain on in, as long as he is not the changeling in disguise. Captains don't have the best skills, and they don't actually provide any kind of...
celestial city,
That'll be right.
ensuring the empire is
Don't need to
well
convince myself not to grab them after we already have.
in the field.
Alright, let's go ahead and scout out Specter Zuma here.
Leave nothing behind.
My mage obviously lives inside these walls. We will go ahead and cancel the move. Who's here? Stun Critch and a few troops. I see no... Wolfric. Okay, Wolfric.
Speak, but be wary of what you say. I speak for the Empire.
I speak for the bigger empire. What say you? I will join your war with Clan Mange, and I just would like... it's not very much gold. We'll take the non-aggression pact. We'll try not to be violent with the Empire, as he'll be a pretty good ally in the fight against the lizard men that we'll have. As... Go ahead and balance the offer, take some gold.
Yes.
As our victory conditions, it may show us here. We do still have the short and long. I should have said nothing at all. But the actual goals for them are going to be constructing 2 of the astromantic relay buildings for the short victory. We're going to be going for the long victory for this one. I'm only able to show up to turn 75 here in early access, but as soon as that's over, we'll be jumping right back into it. And if for some reason we lose this campaign, we'll just start a brand new one. That'd be great. Either way, we'll have a plenty of ZJ Dragon. For the long victory campaign, we have to construct all of the astromantic relay buildings in Hexawaddle, the Star Tower, the Southern Sentinels, and the Great Turtle Isles. We're going to be taking the fight to a whole bunch of Lizardmen provinces. We are going to be basically the anti-Lizardmen here, dismantling the geomantic web for the Celestial Dragon Emperor's own designs. It'd be awesome. Recruit rank +10. Well, that's one thing you get for winning. After that, we go for the domination victory, and actually with the dragon, or the Jade Dragon, I am more tempted to try that one than with previous, as you can get some insanely crazy research rate by then. Alright then, so we're now at war with the rats.
To think is never a moment wasted.
That's very fair, bud. Go ahead and jump on over to the Riverlands real quick. We can get into 2 wars at once here. Hang Bo's hanging out. Who is at war with you all?
For better or worse, our fortunes are intertwined.
They indeed are, as I'm going to be helping you clear out the Jiangxi rebels. What say you, young son? We'll also go ahead and take the non-aggression pact. The more deals we sign, the better. We are aligned with Cathay as a whole.
For the dragon.
Indeed. Awesome.
The crew are restless.
Dead Fleet Flag would like to make deals. Probably not. Would like to get some more trade agreements ready, but for now, we join some wars. We'll get to the Jade Dragon's battle. Next, let's start off with Peng Bo. Come on over to the Baleful Hills. I see no one hiding in the wings. We still want to make sure we minimize casualties as much as we can. We could auto-resolve this one with a decisive victory. That'd be probably preferable here, as it's a bunch of zombies. Let's dive into the fight. We gotta show off Peng Bo and his awesome hammer skills. 65 attack, 95 armor. He's gonna be tough for any of these guys to bring down. No real attacks on the skeletons. They win by overwhelming your troops and scaring them off for the most part. As long as we are stalwart, we should rip them to pieces. Let's dive on in. Alright, so let's see what kind of terrain we have and how we can best take full advantage here. So, I mean, it may be best call to kind of pull back into this small little gully here. We can set up a bunch of archers in the back, kind of blast some shots over the top. We lose a bit of our high ground, but I think that's entirely fine just based on what we gain. So let's grab all of our archers. Get our spearmen. This is basically where they're going to set up. We'll give it kind of a rough estimate on where we want them, and we'll give them a better deployment zone afterwards. We'll go ahead and set everyone up. I'll actually kind of give... We'll have to do it over here. We need a bit more room. Spread them as wide as we can, and then I just control a down several times to make them in a bit more of a box formation. Up and down just kind of either reduces or increases their rank and file. Allows you to get some nice boxed units up there. Perfect. So we're going to grab the first 3 here. Drag them on over.
Defenders of Cathay!
We want to try to set up our spearmen so they are along in harmony with the
Praise the dragons!
Ten Yang's faithful!
a bit like this. We can have Peng Bo up front. We can have the last spearman just kind of as the rear guard, or we can set them up over here so everyone gets a bit more missile usage. As Grand Cathay, show it in just a moment, is all about their campaign mechanic called Harmony, which all of their units are either going to be assigned yin or yang, depending on if they are missile or melee.
Wind and fire!
Scoot these boys up just a little bit. I want to be able to actually get shots where we need to. These guys are only going to be useful for the first part of the battle just because of terrain, unfortunately. But we can't really deploy our spearmen too much further forward.
Celestial General!
Celestial General.
Thoughts in harmony! The Emperor blesses us with range.
Something like so.
Order and
With
balance.
range superiority. You boys had better make full advantage of it.
Spears. Archers!
I think these archers should have no trouble firing over. Firing out of trees, they have kind of a moment of missile invulnerability, but firing into one, they have no such. So it allows you to shoot some shots out of forest, but not into them. That's the idea, at least. Let's grab you three, drag you on over. Gotta set them up over here so they can be firing over the top.
Archers!
Really putting that idea to the test here. Sweet. And we'll have this group of spearmen just behind them. They may choose to flank on around, and that would be very bad. But we'll deal with that if it happens, because either way, if they do, we can send the spearmen past, and then just have these archers fire over. We could get a nice crossfire going either way. All right, then.
Celestial
Battle begin. And as they march on over, we can kind of go over what I was talking about with the yin and yang.
Fear.
So all of your melee, we're going to have the Battle Harmony, Yang.
And their judgment goes far beyond this world. So fight for them. And for Cathay.
Listen to his battle speech. All right. Man's ready to go. So for the Battle Harmony Yang, he has an additional intensity, I think because of our Celestial General, he is a nice battery. Normally there's a 100%, and I think they have... I'm not going to guess the skills, but for now we're at 9 leadership, 9 melee defense, and 6 melee attack as long as they are within 60 meters of a yin unit, which is going to be all of your missile troops. Which, since they are, they've got all of those additional stats, which makes these Peasant Long Spears hit a lot harder than they normally would, as well as stick in for quite a bit for longer. As far as your missile troops, they gain more speed, more reload skill, and more leadership. 18 additional reload skill is pretty awesome. You really want to keep your Cathayan, you're very much like a Dawi troop, where you're not really wanting to move much. You sit in one spot, you find a aggressively defensive position, and you hold it.
Thoughts in harmony. March in ordered ranks.
I'm going to bring these guys over a bit, just in case they try, because they could send the bats right over the top. I'm going to have him sit up front to act as a target for these fell bats. I'm glad they choose to attack us. I figured they might choose to hang back. They've got no missile troops though, so they tend to advance. The advance of the Cathayan peasants. Looks like they are going to go for the flank. They realize that that's probably my weak spot. See if I can't lure them back on in. Come here, you undead monsters. Scoot the troops up just a little bit there. Still can't go too far just because...
Move as wind. Move in formation.
Come on.
Leading. Watching for enfilades.
Really can't have you boys go over the top.
Moving.
Here come those Spellbats. I'm not sure what their plan is.
I see the way.
Okay, they're going to go ahead and try to surround our general. Do some damage. Get that hammer twirling.
Peasant spearmen.
So bring these spears up. Looks like we're going to have no choice. We are going to have to hold a line here. Alright, the general is actually taking a pretty big hit to his leadership. Oh, he's just far enough away he can't actually drop down the... That's some good work there from the undead. They're going to charge into our spearmen there. They reflect the charge, and now they'll do plenty of damage back.
Celestial General. As one.
Interesting.
None dare
Looks like they're
stand
all
in
going around, taking our advantage and ripping it apart.
clearing the way.
Peasant archers.
Alright, where can we advance to make sure that doesn't happen?
Naturally. Move as
Shoot
wind.
these archers forward.
March in ordered ranks.
Shenyang sends us.
Beautiful blanket of arrows going on down. dealt with that first group of hounds quite quickly. Go ahead and rotate back. Here come the undead. Our general's here in the middle of them, just throwing the hammer around. What an awesome animation, that initial. Do more swings, we need to see more damage happening. Yeah. The ultimate yeah. Oh, he gets that double hit. Keep blanketing that fire on.
Long spears! Peasant archers!
Go after these zombies in the middle here. We'll have you turn and start blasting into these skelly warriors. Our general's doing some serious damage. They're just gonna kind of dash themselves against a wall of spears. It's perfect. Focus down those skelly warriors. They're the most dangerous unit by far. Here comes the charge. Those long spears should hold. Only thing really that is going to be threatening them is going to be their leadership. Let's deal with these zombies moving on in. They're very low armor. Hangbow slam into the back here. Make sure we can actually drop down that resistance where we need it. They did a very good job of dragging him away previously, so they couldn't actually help. These guys back a little bit for some more altitude. Come on around. Keep blanketing them, and a lot of those are getting blocked by the trees. Not great. You were getting through, though. We'll just have to come on back. Watch this brawl. Yeah. Leaves a little rune in the ground every time. Be cool if that rune exploded afterwards, but that might be too much. Looks like the undead crumble. Decisive win. Alright, we only lost 21 in the fighting. Peasants did a very good job holding against the undead hordes there. Allows us to easily repel another army if they come on in.
Bring this settlement into Cathay.
Bring this city into Cathay. Oh, and it comes with a training camp. Oh, amazing.
Leader of men.
Alright, Peng. We're gonna go ahead and give you the inspiring presence because we don't really need to move around a whole bunch. We just need to make sure you've got extra experience coming on in and more leadership aura. That way our peasants don't turn and flee in the face of undead nightmares. He gets a long ma eventually. I will admit to being a bit disappointed. I would have liked to see a Jade or Jet Lion as an option. That would be just the best.
Celestial
But
General.
Peng will go ahead and give you a few more Jade Warriors as a nice, fairly heavily armored front line. It only will get more heavily armored. Let's see if it'll let me show the defensive stance there. They get a bit more charge resistance, up to 25%, and 10 additional armor as long as they are not moving. So they basically out-armor the Dawi. Not with actual sheer armor values, but just by sheer determination.
Disrupts our harmony.
Disrupts our harmony. I think you also could go ahead and get an option or give an argument to using Crackdown on this initial province here. I think I would rather rush construction back on the home front. Let's zoom on back over to, or I guess our expeditionary front. We're gonna grab the floating pyramid, complete the hamlet, and then we'll come on into the matters of state here. Should have done this before we did the last battle. That way we could have gained 2 additional tokens. That was my own blunder. So let's grab the rush construction, and we'll click the floating pyramid, completing this instantly. Awesome. Now, we might be in trouble as Grievous is recruiting up, but still was cool that we got to do that. So for no gold at all, the floating pyramid, well, besides the amount taken to actually build it, we rushed the construction. We could go ahead and do some additional. Oh, cool. You can get Croman through the Sky Lantern Lookout building as well as your barracks. That is awesome. You get them through your barracks as well. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to get the training camp on in here, but we're going to go strictly for yen buildings. And I'm going to throw in the tea parlor, as this will drop us into the first tier of yen, giving us more growth and dropping construction costs for all the buildings in the Aymara Swamp. Not so worried about being in harmony at the moment. Let's grab the tea parlor. And then down here at Specter Zuma, we slaughter some rats. A Pyrrhic victory it gives us. Are you a ruin caster? No, he's a plague caster. So not actually as dangerous as normal. Although against our lightly armored peasants, he's probably going to be quite an issue. Either way, though, time to bring ruin to the rats of Clan Mange. Yeah, no, there can be no Skaven tolerated in these jungles. Let's get to purging them. Alright, how best to crack open this Skaven city? Start deployment. I'll kind of take a look around. I think there's 3 towers here. That's gross. We tend to attack from over here on this side where all of the nice little rattling warrens are. And it's kind of got a two-portioned, two-tiered kind of area here. Step down. We're going to grab Jade Warriors and Peasant Long Spears. Set them up front. I'm actually kind of regretting now that I don't have extra long spears as we are rolling against Skaven, who are very well known for bursting out of the ground suddenly, right underneath your archer's feet. Which is just all of the fun. Set those boys up. Set two more of them in the back here. Then we'll grab our last group of spearmen and throw them in the back. Infantry, peasant archers, flyers, and then the 3 brawlers. We'll have Shun Mao up front here. Shun Ma. Jade Dragon and his lion. Ready to throw down. Beautiful. Actually, I think I'm going to bring Shun Ma up with him. So you can start blasting some metal down. He currently doesn't have too many violent spells. His are all based on keeping him protected. We're going to drag our warriors back, because I don't want them to take too much damage from the tower, and we can let Yuan Bo do most of the brawling here. Battle begin. But you know what? We didn't deploy these boys at all. Such is the way. So come on back. Trying to get shot up by these towers too much. I'll have to kind of micro them for a moment. Go on, Croman. This actually works out in the long run anyway, because now they have deployed kind of funkily. As they attempt to dodge, we'll come on back over with Yuan Bo and company. We've lost 3 of them already. Love to see it. Yeah, losing some crowmen for no reason. Flyers are pretty fragile. Can't see the tower range. That appears to be... that may be intentional. I think we're out of range now, finally. Alright, Longma. Your job is going to be coming on in and just riding down one of these random groups of Skaven. These clan rats here, their lives are forfeit. Go show them what that means. Firing on our long spears. I think since we're already getting shot at, it's time to move the lads in. Onward to battle. Blasting on through, time to drop down some more metal spells. Where's the biggest clump of rats? Right here, lurks. Enjoy doom. Oh, there's no way to escape. Super effective. Longma are ripping apart the Skaven on the walls. Even when they batter off the walls also goes ahead and takes extra damage. Fly over the top. And we'll dive the Lion and Jade Dragon into battle. Drop down the Execution Axe on the Greyseer. We'll have you kind of sit over here in the corner. With Jade Lion scoot through, but he is so quick. Blast that off the wall. A bit sad the Jade Dragon doesn't have his own Dragon Breath. Burden, Slaughter.
Master of Meteor Wind.
Oh, interesting. He found a way to actually deploy that spell.
Bureaucrat and warrior.
Drop down the Executioner on the Greyseer, please. Chop. Beautiful. He's trying to run. Dive on in to keep ripping stuff apart. Dragon Emperor's most loyal. Hold you just a little ways away from the fighting there. Longma and Crows easily overwhelm that group. Bring them after the Skaven Slaves next. There's really nothing that's going to stop them. Is it time for some more Jade Lion Breath? I think it is. Slaughter us some rats. Some amazing damage.
Emperor's executioner.
Drop down more ward save, I think, on our hero here. We'll send the warriors into the fray. They're launching arrows over the walls. Awesome. Keep chasing him off. Don't really want the rest of our troops to really engage until we've already chased that poor fool away. Longma, we're gonna have you go and hunt down the towers. You should have enough armor to actually absorb a few hits. Look at him run.
Spymaster.
Where are you going, coward? Nowhere is the answer. We've got the rats rounded up in the corner here. They're all going to try to go down the stairs. Let's set the Jade Warriors up, and they can just kind of be an impenetrable wall. Spears here. Archers ready to go. This last group of spearmen, we can go ahead and have them come up to the walls here and just defend.
Whatever is required.
Alright, Longma, you're taking some free damage. Take this down first. Go ahead and come back here after this group of slingers. Towers down. Go for the slingers as well. Where'd the enemy lord go? Quit trying to escape. This is your fate. You dive on in there, super speedy lion. As our peasants are a bit slow. There's a lot of clan rats. Let's wait for our next spell to use it on them. Did you quit running? Pull yourself on away from that fight. Somehow they've got another tower already up and running. There's towers all over the place. Kinda have to try to ignore them. Throw them over the top. Once the Longma get up in the air, we can charge them back in. Yeah, let's see how much damage we get here. That's a bunch of rats. That's a huge portion of rats now. They're all shattered. Jade Dragon. The blue sword, I think, means they are closing in on being executable.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor.
With infinite pride.
Alright, Crowman, lay it down here. You boys dive on into the fray against these clan rats. You can break them rather quickly. You guys come on through, get into a fight with these Skaven slaves on the other side here. Right, move on in. And you boys just set up on different portions there.
The Dragon Emperor's most
He's got the
loyal.
execution symbol.
Emperor's executioner.
Go ahead and save the magic. Allow us to annihilate everything surrounding the Jade Dragon here. Not that he necessarily needs the help. More or less just to clear the path. He battle tops his way through. Figured that would be enough damage to scare them off, but apparently not. Spearmen have moved in to stop our crows. Dive into that fray there. Lion, come back for just a moment. 6 seconds before we get another cast. Just a very slow brawl through here. The plague spells are going to be a huge issue. Quit fleeing and just accept your doom. Deal with this group here first. Jade Lion, come on in to help out. Alright, Spears, dive into these clan rats. You just stand there and he's completely surrounded by just a pulsing mass of disgusting rats. Hit him, Jade Dragon. I think we keep saving our magic for the blasts of metal. That's the best call there. Bowmen keep ripping apart these slings. Those spearmen are done. Let's come back across. Now, there's nowhere for you to run now. We've got one more unit of Skaven slaves to hide in. How are you still able to outpace the Jade Dragon? Just flash step in here and deal with this man. Now I have to move very slowly.
To end all threats.
To end all threats. These archers decided to throw themselves into melee. Interesting, bold strategy.
Ready as always.
Alright, one more cast of metal. Should see things off. We've got them caught between the longmen here. They're going absolutely nowhere. They're broken. Is it the last of them? Oh, the Skaven done. With his entire battle running away from Yuan Bo. Makes me wish he was a melee lord. He would have had no choice but to run on in and get executed. Either way, Specter Zuma falls to the Jade Dragon. Right, only 45 fell in that battle, which is actually pretty good. It was mostly probably from that initial blast of plague there that just kind of melted a few of our poor helpless peasants away. Fantastic job, though. We can go ahead and claim Specter Zuma and the gem mine that lies within.
Not for long.
Oh, is that what you think? Rats will be purged. None of you get to live here. That's just how that works. Take a look. Our technology has increased to 115%. Definitely. Amazing. Alright, Yuan Bo. While we're here, it would likely be a good idea to go ahead and grab in some Jade warriors. So let's go ahead and grab, I would say, 2 of them. Give ourselves a bit more of a staunch front line. Oh, we don't actually have the gem mine in here yet. Well, that works. We'll grab the Jade warriors, we'll destroy this building, and we'll move on from there. This would take too long. 10 turns for Specter Zuma to grab a single point. Then we would have to wait 4 for it to turn into a village. And then even more for the dormitory to come on in. We'll go ahead and upgrade our troops then rather slowly. Alright, Yuan Bo. Let's give you the Inspiring Presence.
Master of
or
the
Shunma.
winds.
I would like her to have the Enhanced Metallurgy, give us a bit of kind of handout magical attacks to help us rip apart the surviving Blue Vipers. Land Mage being wiped out already is great.
Yes.
Wolfheart is being a bit slow. Snooze, you lose, bud. Back over to the Riverlands. I think it's good to go. Awesome. Alright then. Let's take another fast look at diplomacy, as with Jade Dragon, you really want to do this every single turn.
Admiral of the
See what kind of trade agreements you can get. Increase that spy network.
Darkness.
For now, nothing. The Jiangxi are still willing for peace. There is no peace with the undead. I'm going to purge you to the last. Alright, another mission has been issued. Establish a trade agreement with any faction. Factions may agree to trade with one another. Oh, this is just a tutorial mission. 750. If you trade, it makes your diplomacy better and gives you more money. Lovely. Alright, Pengbo.
Celestial
Let's do a smidge of scouting.
Advance without heroics.
Without heroics. In fact, let's switch into a camp stance.
While we can.
Here is Yue Jiaolan.
Leader of men.
And we retreat back into
Full
Baleful
Grand
Hills.
Cathay.
And then recruit in some more Jade Warriors. Really could use some cavalry here, but we don't quite have that option just yet, so we'll make do. Back over to Mara Swamps. Now it's time to strike on out against the
Emperor's
disgusting orcs. We can't quite reach. We can hit the High Sentinel, though. We can fight all the orcs at once.
The Emperor.
I think that's probably a good idea. We could go for a Judge here. Give us 1 additional use of the Executioner. We can apply that to both of the enemy lords and then just chop them apart real quick. We could additionally go into an ambush here.
Go.
Which is what I've decided to do.
Of Cathay.
They recruit more, that's just more orcs for us to slaughter.
Surprise diminishes losses.
Agreed. Surprise diminishes losses. So more growth, less construction cost, and more control, as Yin is now dominant in Aymara swamps. For the Riverlands here, the Creeping Jungle, I mean, we're going to go ahead and destroy this building. Keep an eye. Looks like No Skaven own the Wellspring, so hopefully that's where Wolfheart heads down, and he can start getting into a fight with not the undead. These are Dark Elves, the Bloodhall Coven is.
I should be at the center.
In charge! Monster Hunter!
Oh, perfect. Just as we needed to get a trade agreement. And you guys can also have a military access pact. That works for me just fine.
Okay.
Okay. That's great. Wolfheart is down to just 2 settlements. He went back to his capital, which is intriguing.
You dare.
Hopefully he starts bullying Slann quite quickly. Trading places has been completed. Alright. I think what I'm going to do then, keep Specter Zuma safe. We're going to go ahead and grab in, and not another general, we're going to grab a dragon-blooded Shugun gun. Bureaucrat. Questioner, this is likely the one we're going to go for. Harmonizer or the Distinguishing Scar. Ooh, enemy leadership makes me happy. At least the drop on it. I don't like the lore of Yang as much as I like the lore of Yin, but the Bureaucrat is so much more likely to be what Yuan Bo would recruit on in. But the lore of Yin casters allow us to get Talons of Night. And we could drop leadership. Now we're going to go ahead and grab the Bureaucrat for role-playing. We'll come on in Ming Sun.
I shall restore harmony. Dragon-blooded Shugunga.
Change to Min Bo. Welcome to the team.
The dragon-blooded.
And since we don't have actually that much gold laying around, I really don't want her to have any troops. She's just going to sit here, inspect Zuma, and kind of watch. Keep an eye on the horizons.
My little birds tell me such stories of my siblings. Souls, intrigue, secrecy.
Got a lot to say. Looks like the Blue Vipers have stumbled right into our ambush like proper fools. They've got Biggins and Biggins on cavalry though, so we are going to want to fight this one on the field. Otherwise, even though it's a decisive victory, we would still take a pretty hefty amount of losses to our front line here. Go ahead and dive on in and fight some orcs. Alright, these Savage Orcs are all in a line, like the fools they are. Let's set you on Bo up front. We will want to have our... I am actually fairly concerned about these Boar Boy Biggins. They're pretty nasty in a fight. Let's go ahead and have the Long Spears set up and ready for them in kind of a dual layered line here. Pardon me, I'm about to have to cough. I'm going to mute for a moment while we get everything set up, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Ooh. A wee bit of the Changeling, trying to some of his schemes. Set the Jade Warriors up. We're going to pull the archers back a little bit. I wanted them to be firing right off the cuff of the fight there, but I don't think we're going to have that option.
Defenders of Cathay!
Something I'm not going to be accepting of.
The celestial faithful.
The soldiers up. The final change here. You just want to make sure we minimize casualties, but maximize the amount of people fighting.
Finds us one.
We also will have our warriors in 45 seconds. It's going to take a while for them to come on in, though. Let's set Dunma and the lion together.
Dragon Guard.
Like this. Archers, infantry, flyers, and then the bruisers. That'll begin.
Ready as always.
Alright, what's the play here? Looks like the Biggins are just going to flee. Bold strategy. Get the lads forward a bit then.
Guided by ancestors.
crows over the top. You go ahead and dive into the fight. Go ahead and give you the metallurgy there. Have you turn and fight. Long Mecha come help out. Jade Dragon, you know your job. You boys go after the archers there. Fully surrounded, go ahead and get everyone rotating. Fire here, you two go after this unit because it's actually on your side. More metal spells, although it's probably a good call. Yeah, we'll just blast units as they try to flee. Lion, come on back. You tat down the line. Oh, please don't take out too many of your own.
The celestial faithful.
We got him.
Never conquered.
We got him. He's in execution range. Oh, he gets to escape. Sorry, Yuan Bo. They're really good at getting away when we go for that ability there. I'm gonna have the crows chase down as many of these lads. We're gonna go for as many battle captains as possible. Oh, the execution. Do I have to click this? Does it just happen? Chop. That guy should fall. And there goes the rest of his health. Yeah, that's entirely how it works. So once it turns red, it's then time for the execution. Awesome. I'm gonna round up some Savage Orcs here, and I will catch you all in a moment. Alright, we'll take the win. Only 8 of our own fill in the fighting. Pretty well perfect. Take the victory and the captives. We know we'll take the actual experience this time.
End this now. Do not let discord ferment elsewhere.
Caravan encounter. Lost patrol. Caravan stumbles upon a patrol of allies that have been lost for some time. Guides can show them a way back to friendly regions, although this will cause a short delay in getting the caravan to its destination. Get some lost rangers or some forgotten fighters. We actually have a fair deal of pretty nasty Jade warriors. Let's go ahead and grab some crossbowmen with shields. Wormkins are wiped out, and so are the cross clubs. Our season trackers are in, so we get a bit more movement range, which is awesome. And it looked like, indeed, the Empress's crowmen are ready to be recruited. We're going to go ahead and grab these guys on the other army. Would like them to be with Yuan Bo, but actually I think he would send them back to keep an eye on his Celestial General and make sure he's not messing up in his stead. So we will keep them off of Yuan Bo. I know exactly who they will be applied to. Okay, so for Yuan Bo himself, I do believe, working down the Judge, Jury, Executioner is probably the best course of action, but getting into the Comet and Talons of Night area of spellcasting is also probably a good one. So let's grab the first point into Shim's Burning Gaze here. We can start working our way through.
Eye of the Emperor.
Shun Ma, I'm going to give you the Enhanced Metallurgy. Piercing, it just gives 25% more armor piercing damage.
Never a moment wasted.
That only helps if they already have armor piercing damage. So let's go ahead and actually apply the Metallurgy Poison so we can slow the enemy. Although, I guess the Jade Lion allows you some fire weakness. Let's grab the Metallurgy Flame. Normally wouldn't go for this one. But since that Jade Lion applies weakness to fire, we can probably layer on some pretty nasty combinations with peasant archers that have, they've got a fairly decent reload skill, so they can blast away with some fire damage.
Through me.
Alright then. Onward to the High Sentinel.
This will stand.
Stand, fall, whichever one works. Close victory here at the High Sentinel. Yeah, there's a fair few orcs. Nothing that a little bit of magic can't solve, though. Let's dive on in. Okay, so we have a fairly open battlefield here. Start deployment. Oh, never mind. We've got this nice hill to be battling upon. And a river cutting across the front. This is excellent. We've got the 5 archers. We'll go ahead and layer them on up. Control down a few times, and if you would like to know how I've been moving it around, if you haven't already, I have been holding Alt and then you left click, and you can move them on around as you will. If you want to rotate them, you just hold control as well, and that allows you to rotate the entire line. It works just for one unit as well, just for kind of short, quick, snappy, precise movements.
Order and
If you are on the map and moving them like that during the order giving screen, the only thing you'll have to keep in mind is if you release Alt before you give the move order, your lads will walk into position. Whereas if you have Alt held while releasing the button, like if you stop here and holding Alt, your lads would then run.
Wind and fire!
Allows you to be very precise if you know what you're doing, which in most cases I do not.
Archers!
The archers set up on this hill here, as they're going to have a very hard time getting around. We're going to go ahead and set up one unit of spears to defend this side. We really don't need much. We don't really want to entice them to go over this way either. We could send the Jade Lion over. He's very quick. The Onyx Crowman defending the back. Our Longma as well. I think the Jade Warriors is pretty fantastic. As the in my testing, Specter Zuma has always had a diamond mine once you claim it. Let's set the lads up on the stream. We can pull them back once the battle begins. And we may just switch this so the spearmen are like this. We can have Shunma holding the front line. Beautiful. Keep these last warriors here. Oh, well, that would happen. These warriors, I'm just going to pull them over here to the middle. We're going to try to have a nice blanket of fire. Crows are so noisy. They're real happy to be here, just shouting away. Alright then, let's have the Jade Lion off on the back as well here. Yuan Bo ready to run up straight down the middle and throw some axes on, or his gigantic two-handed blade on this poor, unsuspecting orc boss. Get the lads ready. And the battle begun. Get him. Grievous knows full well what's coming for him, so he's going to be trying to flee.
I'm the Celestial's executioner. And these enemies are marked for death. Let us execute the will of the Immortal Emperor himself.
Let's do it.
Move in formation.
Shunma.
I go where I will.
Fair enough, I guess. Let's bring you... Oh, here comes the orc boys right away. Perfect. They move into their doom. Jade Dragon is doing his best to sneak on over. We're going to drop the blade. See it kind of... Oh, we didn't get close enough. That is so much damage. That is awesome. Get him. Yuan Bo versus that random orc war boss.
Sent by dragons.
Peasant archers!
Alright, you peasant archers start doing your damage.
Marching as one. Move as wind.
Lion in.
Marching as one.
Oh, they got shredded before they even made it.
A celestial decree.
Alright, let's have these archers switch their targeting.
The dragons ask. Archers.
There's more than enough dealing with that. That is a horrifying flank combination there. Let the long let everyone deal with that. Jade Dragon is throwing down quite well. That's the wrong way. Grievous is right here. That's the way. Yuan Bo used rollout. As you can see by the chunky orc salsa all over the floor, it's super effective. Drop yourself more shield there, Yuan Bo. We annihilated that initial battle squad they sent over. Peasants, get back into formation.
Move as wind.
We'll have the lion come on out.
Cavalry.
Longma, get ready. You crows, get ready as well as they approach quite quickly.
As always.
The dragons.
You have height advantage, so we have to really keep that for as long as we can. We want our archers to be firing on theirs.
Zhang Yang's faithful.
Bringing harmony.
Interesting. They're going to choose to fire on the longma.
Whatever is required.
You think you're going to win, but all I have to do is keep dropping these shields, and eventually you fall. Lovely little blanket of fire. Let's go ahead and get that on where it needs to go instead. Longma. Take him down. Move these warriors around as well. We'll have the crowmen going after this group of archers. Metal spells on the top. Wait till that casts, then throw it on the archer. Extra fire. Move the long spears around. She scared them off rather quickly. Root them out. He's completely surrounded. The enemy can be executed though. I would flee. Beautiful. Make sure you guys are firing on the right target there. You're a little bit up in each other's business. Crash on in then, cavalry. Jade warriors get a nice flank. Tear them apart. You throw down the Jade Lion Breath across the line here. Should do serious damage. As long as it doesn't bounce into our own boys. That's so awesome. Poor Savage Orcs. Ripped to shreds. Alright, Yuan Bo. You're having a hard time bringing down Grievous. Let's go ahead and finish him off. And yoink. And that's the end of Grievous. Looks like we're probably getting a lot of friendly fire on our crowmen. Let's pull that on away. It's not what we like to see. Team blanketing them in doom.
The celestial faithful.
Archers, let's go ahead and just push these Savage Orcs away. I'll have you guys not in guard mode. You guys doing the same.
Warriors. Decimate them.
Charge off here. Just blasting the magic around. Really awesome attack animations. Yuan Bo, give yourself the shield. In fact, it's probably time to go for his dragon form. You got the shield, now go ahead and transform. Your doom is now. You go after this group. Metal spells are incoming. He's just gonna wiggle around. Come on, Jade Dragon, you can do it. Pull the crowmen back and then have you two set up. Alright, they're shattered, not coming back. Go in and smash this next group. Yuan Bo, let's come on away. You're taking a lot of damage because the sheer amount of orcs are able to hit you at the same time.
Seeking elements. Guided by ancestors.
Defend the realm. Move in formation.
Pulling back just a little bit further. Let the longma come on over and help. Before the crowmen land, pull them back just real fast, drop the metal, and then we land the crowmen. There we are. Well, Yuan Bo's having a little bit of trouble here. Someone over and help out. Whale. I think they are boar boys, not quail. You're close though. He's got some awesome animations. Just kind of wiggles around. They're terrified on away. That's the victory. Sorry, orcs. You tried your best. It's just nothing compared to the tactical brilliance of Yuan Bo. Alright, a decisive win. We have discovered Yuan Bo's weakness is very heavy cavalry, as they are able to surround his rather large form and dragon form and do a lot of damage very quickly. So we'll have to keep that in mind. We gained, it looks like 2 ranks there, which is awesome. If not 2, a single one is just fine as well.
Harmony across the world.
Indeed. No place like home. The winds of magic gather, blowing through Lustria with an intensity that once harnessed will expand in the reach and power of the Jade Compass exponentially. Yet the expedition to the continent has left your defenses in Cathay spread far too thin. A vampiric menace looms over Shangwu like a shadow. The undead scourge could strike at any moment, but without proper protections, the region may fall to their greed and malice. Perhaps it would be wise to hand the rulership over the city to a trustworthy custodian, rather than attempting to fight enemies on 2 fronts. So you could keep Shangwu, retain a foothold in Cathay, or you could relinquish Shangwu for 20,000 treasury, which is a hefty sum, and would allow you to get a pretty nice boost over here for your battle in Lustria itself. However, we are going to not give up Shangwu. We are going to keep Shangwu, as it is our capital city, no one else's, and we just are going to have to give up the 20,000. The Aymara swamps have been secured, and we are going to go on and head in here and just enact the Jade Dragon's edict immediately. I am going to be doing pretty much none of the other edicts for this campaign, simply because the Jade Dragon thinks he's the best, and so he is. Even if the extra research rate from the Iron Dragon is normally what I tend to go for.
The Emperor's architect.
All right. So Yuan Bo, you have extra. I'm thinking we go for Blossom Wind is only in human form. Which of these do you get in dragon form? Is it the Comet? Yes, he gets the Comet of Cassandora in dragon form. That is horrifying. You get a nice clump of enemies and you just drop a rock on them. Very fair enough. I think we are going to go for the power of Yen. So anytime he casts a spell, he drops enemy speed and armor. That's going to be great.
Master
Ma.
of the Meteor wins.
We just shouted that. We'll go ahead and grab the increased mobility.
The Celestial Command.
Keep on moving. Lovely. I actually think I'm going to be doing no recruiting of any peasants here. We're going to swing on over to the other side. Zuma will throw in the gem mine shaft. Come on back over to Cathay. We'll give Peng Bo his eyes, or Empress's Gorman, which will have themselves a little grenade. The Nangao grenades, which are pretty fun. Who would have thought such a small, unassuming object could cause such overwhelming damage? Yes, indeed. Cluster bombs be like that.
Fight and be recompensed.
Fight and be recompensed. I would very much like to try to catch these fools unaware. So what we're going to do is we're going to come on out. Oh, we're going to take attrition. I don't want to take any attrition. How much?
Traverse the high ground.
Ooh. Fairly disgusting amount. All we've got is the Scarecrow banner for now. Well, we haven't quite wiped out the Undead Menace. Let's go ahead and take 1 turn of attrition, with the idea that we're going to ambush whoever comes on in. I think this will be worth it. Otherwise, it'll be a gambit of pretty epic proportions. We should probably recruit more troops to fight against the undead hordes, if we're being honest. We're going to instead try to lure them on out. I don't know where they are over here, and I'd like to find out. For our technology, I think we're going to move up towards the harmonic balance Yang. Gives you a bit of extra growth and industry from all of our buildings. Looks like only our Yang buildings, though, for industry. Keep that in mind. But drill training will give our peasant long spears a bit more leadership and recruit rank. We're using a lot of peasant long spears right now, so giving them a bit more leadership is always a good thing. After we get up to harmony balance Yang, which will take 8 turns, we can come on down to grab the fletching mentors for a bit more ammunition. And likely the scales of the dragon for more armor for our Jade warriors.
Welcome.
Keep them a bit survivable.
Celestial
Welcome additions indeed. Pull our diplomacy up. Lox Lawn would like to make deals. I might grab a non-aggression with these guys to start, just for the gold. Because they're likely to get wiped out by the combination of Bordelot and the Bloodkeepers. We are going to be pushing out pretty much all other factions in Lustria. No one but Cathay can prosper. We'll take the small amount of gold from Talk Chick here. The Blueberry Slan.
What?
Look, no other deals to be had.
Darkness comes.
Jiangxi rebels. Hopefully Ming Fan can come on in here and club them in the back of the head. I'd prefer to keep my provinces under my control, but wouldn't really complain that much if Ming Fan ran on in and helped out. Alright, we've got 6,000 gold. We'll be able to do a good bit of upgrading once that is underway. One more turn before we can upgrade the village here. And 3 turns before we get new tokens. Fair enough. Skip on through and we end the turn.
Sorcery through me.
We end the turn.
My knowledge is boundless.
Awesome to hear Shunba. She's given herself another skill through her studies. I think we're going to start working on her spellcasting now. We'll grab boost income once we actually have some of our provinces under control.
Keeper of Wuxing.
Alright, Yuan Bo, I would like to just press you onwards aggressively into Orc territory. Let's come to the edge of our lands here first.
Joy, seeing our soldiers transit.
Joy, huh?
Dragon.
If we can reach Pahwak's next turn, I think the ambush stance is a good idea.
In harmony with the road.
Okay, then. That's how it's going to be. Upgrade the Isle of the Crimson Skull. Give us 5 Jade Warriors, 2 Long Spears, crossbows, and an archer. Sweet business.
Natural authority.
Ming Bo just going to come out and back in so it doesn't
Emperor's words.
bother me. We could come on down here and grab this Wellsprings of Eternity, but that would make us in direct contact with the Bloodhall Covenant. I would rather not do that. Could come on down and grab it and then hand it off to Wolfheart. And that's an intriguing idea. Riverlands.
Servant of the dragons.
Oh, we've taken care of the corruption. I see no undead.
Instrument of the divine.
Let's scoot forward, still in ambush stance, and just gonna see if we can
Textbook
locate
maneuver.
them. Maneuver.
Move fast. Cross river swiftly.
This is also 80%, 45%. Why? We can hide beneath the bridge. We'll stay here where it's 80%.
I will not have a day wasted.
Day wasted. I love to hear it. We've got no more gold to really be used. We could take the training camp out of Baleful Hills just to increase the growth here. I think that's a good call. We should have probably done it sooner, as soon as those Jade Warriors were recruited on in.
Sorcery through me.
Awesome. We had a very uneventful caravan journey as well. It always tends to happen when I turn onto the recording. When I am doing my own testing, we get in fights every single turn. But as soon as I hit that record button, it's a very uneventful, pleasant trip through the Ivory Road. Yeah, the hardest parts are done. You're going through the mountains now. I guess the Norskins could try something, but I think they would get butchered by Longma. Longma riders are absolutely awesome. I have come to greatly respect their majestic winged beasts. And turn. Well, there we go. Caravan encounter ambushers. Your scouts have discovered a bandit force preparing an ambush. There's an alternative route, but it will add days to the journey. Or perhaps, without the element of surprise, the enemy can be beaten and the caravan won't incur a delay. I think we have a pretty good set of troops to run this group over. Slaughtermaster is a bit scary. He's got Flock of Doom, so he's going to rip apart our peasants. But as long as we keep his lads locked down in our halberds, it could be a really bad time for the ogres. Bring it on, Gark. Can auto-resolve it for a decisive win. Let's go ahead and take this auto-resolve so we can get onward with the... I also want to see just how bad the auto-resolve is going to be towards us. Be nice. Ooh, that's not nice at all. We're going to venerate and sob silently. Alright, corruption is starting to spread. Out of nowhere, we took, looks like 2 turns of attrition and 1. Interesting. Bloxlon has been wiped out. Caravan has become... or has gathered themselves a sword master. And then all things in balance. Construct 3 buildings that contribute to harmony. 3,000 treasury and a forbidden rod. That's
General.
unfortunate, taking 2 turns of attrition in one.
Occupy any passes.
I don't see the undead. They can cover pretty vast territory all at once.
I spend too much time idle in thought.
Here he is. Yue Jiaolan. Alright, we'll have one more battle here for this episode. We need to fight this one to minimize casualties as much as possible. We've got our Jade Warriors, will be a... Oh yeah, now we have this lovely, lovely choke point. Let's dive in. Okay, so we really want to try to blob them up as much as we can on the other side of the trees and things like that, so we can actually hit them. So let's grab
Warriors!
our Jade Warriors. Pull them back, set them up in kind of a concave
Minds
formation.
as one! Minds as one!
Question is, do you guys fit? For the most part. We don't need them to take up
Jade Warriors!
one group of Jade Warriors in the center, and we can kind of bring these other guys closer in.
Jade Warriors!
We don't need everyone fighting, we just need a few.
Order and balance! Praise the dragons!
Not what I wanted to do. Troll down once, twice. Cool, we'll just leave these guys behind. Act as reinforcements.
Praise the dragons!
3 spearmen, back.
Wind and fire!
We want them a little bit more spread out. I mean, we can do it ourselves, but who wants to do that? No, thank you. So we will have to move everyone forward when the battle starts, but we'll have these archers just move up. This side.
Defenders of
Same here.
Cathay!
You up front trying to lure them on in.
The celestial faithful!
Spears here.
Long
Here.
spears!
Long spears behind to try to go after any archers
Defenders
throwing any
of
nonsense.
Cathay!
We'll just make sure that harmony is everywhere it can be. The Empress's crowmen to go duel with the enemy bats. It's going to be an awesome fight. Let's take a look at our gold winged crowmen here. Blue and gold, that's not suspicious at all.
Disorder makes them weak!
These guys bear a striking resemblance to the golden griffin of Theurgy, or whatever it is, for the ROR unit for Tzeentch.
Peasant archers!
Not saying that the Moon Empress is of chaos, but she could possibly be of chaos. Battle begin, before too much more heresy is spoken.
Soldiers,
Forward, lads.
do not fear. Our ancestors will see how hard you fight, and their judgment goes far beyond this world.
Yeah, you guys set here.
So fight for them, and for Cathay.
Let's get ready to intercept.
Understood!
Grand General!
I'm curious to see how much damage they do to the enemy crow Hellbats as they move on in.
Attack in unison!
Let's do a little bit of damage, soften them up.
Face the dragons!
Archers! Order
Switch the
and
target
balance!
here. Have the crowmen dive on in. Battle in the skies. See the damage. Oh, they ripped them to pieces. Love to see it. Drop the resistance in here. Have you guys keep bombarding these doggos.
Order!
Tear them to pieces. Right now we're gonna bring the Nangao grenades over the top. Do some serious damage. Let's get set up over here on this side. Have you all
Archers!
firing. Hopefully our crows don't get hit too much by friendly units there. It's kind of a foolish move.
Harmonious wrath!
Alright, crows ready to drop the grenades. And doom. Oh, fantastic. We'll pull them back away and have them just kind of take down this group of zombies. And fun, turn and fight.
Peasant archers!
Spears!
Lovely. We're gonna start launching those arrows. Let's let the Jade Warriors hold the line. Roman, go ahead and pull on away. They're blending through this back line. One or two of the crows fell in the fighting. Pretty sure you've got your resistance again? No.
Dragons, commander!
Fairly well balanced with how often you get it.
Never conquered. With pride.
Having you guys blast into this back line here should be a pretty easy targets for you. Jade Warriors step forward and annihilate this group.
First among many.
Keep that hammer whirling. Yeah. Hit in the shoulder by one of his own men.
Grand General.
It looks like we've got him. Decisive win. Right, a decisive win. Only 14 of our own lost. The Empress's crewmate got 217 kills with those grenades. Incredible work, lads. Pros. Whatever you might be.
Bring this settlement into Cathay.
Bring this settlement into Cathay.
Never.
If we have reduced the corruption enough, Yue here is going to be having a really bad day.
Celestial
Here at the Baleful Hills, we'll throw in the grazing pastures for some income and growth. The Celestial Riverlands are going to be looking nice. We are up to the 2 stone and steel. So if we really wish,
Humility in all things.
humility will give you some hard to hit, up to 45 melee defense. G Caravan, I am going to, don't care about so much them selling their wares for a ton. I want to make sure they actually make it to their target. Less attrition and some replenishment.
From the dragons. Muster to our strength.
Indeed. Peng, I think I just want you to have one more long spear unit for now. So that you have a even squad. I am going to be weird about that kind of thing. We'll come on back down to the Aymara Swamps. We can upgrade it some more here. Let's do the same. Can we get the iron building in right off the bat? Is the question. Ooh, we can. We really want a lot of trade resources. So, T-Parlor, I think for now, you are going to not be upgraded. The village, it shall be instead. At the High Sentinel here. You growl your name, brother.
With the dragon's fang.
Dragon's Fang. Which you do not currently hold in your possession. For now, though, and with the Siege of Pahwaks, I am going to be out of time for today. I've been at Space Was in Total War. Hope you've enjoyed our first episode here with Yuan Bo, the Jade Dragon. Remember to leave a like for the Light God and a sub for the sub, though, and I'll see you on the next one.